Welcome back to CTV Morning Live. It might look a little rainy, a little wet out there today, but we are looking at a very hot and humid day, at least for today and for the next couple of days. We'll have more details on that when we get to our weather forecast. A lot of the kids looking at the weather, looking outside the classroom. They've got, for some boards, this is their last week. For others, we're looking at 2 more weeks of school and then we're out. And they're just going to want to kind of veg, let the brain kind of relax for a little bit. But that's not the best case when it comes to the entire summer. And we are talking summer learning with Oxford Learning. Laurelle Wright is here. Great to have you here.
Great to be here.
And we're okay to let them have a little bit of time once school ends to just say, okay, decompress.
Yes.
But eventually we kind of start to have to include it back into their everyday activity.
Well, exactly, because 2 months is really a long time to be out of school. If you think about it, an athlete doesn't just stop training for 2 months and then expect to pick up in the same physical condition that they were originally at when they stopped. So we really like to see kids keeping their brains active over the summer, because that way when they start back at school, they're not going to have regressed as far as if they've done nothing educational all summer.
And this isn't about taking out their textbook and sitting them down and saying, you've got an hour over this textbook. There's other ways of being able to do it.
Absolutely. There's a way of just incorporating it into your everyday life. So for example, getting a library card, bringing your kids to a library, making it a part of your weekly schedule, bringing them to movies that have book series that are associated with them so that they can go and read the books because it'll interest them a lot. Another thing is just playing board games at home with your kids. Scrabble, crosswords, Sudoku, even things like Guess Who. It's a really good way to get your kids critically thinking about things, asking the right questions. So, you know, there's many things that you can do with your kids at home as well.
You're also going to be taking road trips. And so it's one to kind of, you know, punch buggy and call out the cars and the weeping willows. But there are other ways in terms of kind of doing calculations and doing different things when you're thinking about the road trips.
Absolutely. You can give your kids kind of an idea of, well, it's 2 kilometers to the mall. So if we're going all the way to the Museum of Science Technology, for example, how far do you think that's going to be? And then have them estimate. Then when they get to the location, you've set your trip meter, I'm assuming, you can see how long it actually took. Were they close? Now you can round it to the nearest kilometer and then have them even convert to different units of measurement. So there's lots of things. If your kids really object to this, you can make it a competition, have little rewards involved, and you'll actually be surprised at how eager kids are to really be thinking about things and keeping their minds active.
And the summer is really about new experiences, right?
Exactly.
So just to include it in it. Now, there's a lot of people, though, that are going to be looking at their children saying, we need a little catch up to do over the summer.
Absolutely.
There are other parents that are going to be looking at their children going, they like to be pushed and they want to excel, and so we're looking at different things. So there are 2 kind of strategies that a lot of parents are going with into the summer.
Absolutely. And, you know, at our center, we do have programs that are available for both types of learners. We always do an assessment before we enroll our students so that we have an idea of not only what academic levels they're functioning at, but what type of learner they are, how they process and analyze information. That allows us to develop individualized programs for each child so that we're making sure we're addressing their specific needs throughout the course of the summer.
When would you start to consider that, taking a final look at the report card and saying, okay, we're going to give them a couple weeks off and then start them into a program? You know, in terms of not having the kid fighting you, you know, kind of going kicking and screaming, saying they don't want to have to do anything academic.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing too is bringing them to our center really helps because we really do have a fun environment. We integrate a lot of fun activities into the learning, so they're not just sitting down at a desk and doing book work. We are getting out whiteboards. We do have games that we use that have educational value. So there's lots of things. Doing that as well will really benefit them.
And I think it's just starting in the next school year. I mean, I know right now we're tuning out and we're almost at the end, but it's a lot of it now becomes gearing ahead towards feeling safe and feeling good about them entering into their next grade level.
Yeah, absolutely. You want them to go in with confidence, because if they don't go in with confidence, then it can really affect them as the year progresses. And we get a lot of calls, you know, in December and January, oh, my child's struggling and I don't know what to do anymore. If you tackle it earlier on, then it really helps them later in the school year.
Well, definitely some things to consider, some great tips in just terms of things that you can do as a family and you know, incorporate the learning into just your daily activities over the summer. And of course, there are several locations for Oxford Learning throughout the city. So head to their website. You'll be able to find one that's located near you and different regions here in the area. Laurelle, great to have you on the show. Best of luck with the kids coming through your center.
Thank you.
We're going to take a commercial break.